Hi, this episode I complete my coast-to-coast loop of the United States when I reach the Pacific Ocean and return to Washington State. Come on along. Last episode, we were in Arizona. Temps were falling, and after 5 months on the road, I was beginning to tire of this trip. I made the call to start heading back to Washington State, but first, let's go see Joshua Tree National Park. It was my first time visiting this park, and I was aware of the crazy trees, but I wasn't prepared for the rock formations. It was like someone sprinkled little pebbles everywhere, but in really large scale. Sort of felt like a scene from the Flintstones. Apparently rock climbing is super popular here. I don't like heights, so you aren't going to see me doing that anytime soon. Joshua Tree National Park actually includes two distinct types of deserts. The Mojave Desert in the western half of the park embodies what you probably think of, the Joshua Tree with its Dr. Seuss look, yucca plants, and cactus. The eastern side of the park, though, is the Colorado Desert with a noticeable shift in plants and topography. The Cholla Cactus Garden, which you see here, sits in the transition zone between the two. The next day, we headed northwest, aiming for the Pacific coast via Central California. Central California is a major agricultural area. The most surprising crop I saw, acres and acres of rose bushes. For real. We stayed at an unremarkable campground, then continued our journey west the following day. I've been trying to visit as many national parks as I can on this trip, so decided to go see Pinnacles National Park, which is over towards the coast, just south of San Jose and Santa Cruz, California. The drive there was okay, but the park itself was pretty disappointing. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not quite sure how this one warrants national park status. It's tiny, it's crowded, and there's nowhere interesting to walk your dog. I sure wish I'd gone over to the coast instead and driven up Highway 1 along Big Sur and such. So we didn't end up staying very long, and we went to Monterey instead. That, friends, is the Pacific Ocean. We've gone from one coast to the other and back again. Stay tuned to the end because I'm going to share some fun stats. The next day we kept pushing north. For the majority of this trip I have avoided major highways and driving through big cities. But this day the idea of crossing the Golden Gate Bridge was just too good to pass up. We stayed a couple nights at a KOA in Petaluma. It was really pretty nice, and if you're traveling with family and maybe have a bigger rig, definitely give it a look. There's a petting zoo and all kinds of amenities that would be fun for kids. Back on the road again and traveling north on the 101. Let's go find the Redwoods. A drive-through tree? Heck yeah, let's go look at that. We paid our $15 entrance fee and then drove down to see if Ruby would fit through that tree. Yeah, no, she's not going to fit through there. The lady at the stand did mention though that people do sometimes back up to it so that they can take pictures and stuff with the tree. So we're going to do that instead. Yeah, Ruby's a little too thick to fit through the tree. I think I'm almost too tall to fit through the tree. Ooh, slippery. That was fun. Now to go find Avenue of the Giants. Wow. There's no way to properly describe how big these trees are, and I don't think this video really does it justice. When we came across this downed tree trunk, I had to stop and get some footage for size comparison. I mean, it's as tall as Ruby and probably about half as wide, and then there's Ozzy there too, just to add some cuteness. Aha, beach access. Let's see if dogs are allowed to play. Yay, dogs are allowed, and there's no other dogs on this beach, which is even better for my pup. Unfortunately, he's been attacked a couple different times by off-leash dogs, and so now he thinks all other dogs are bad news. It was pretty cold and windy that day, but we still had a fun time romping around. Earlier on my trip, I was talking to someone who mentioned that elk are pretty smart, and when it becomes hunting season, you'll begin to see them more and more in town. These guys are regulars inside the park. I was looking to stay inside Redwoods National Park, but I didn't really like any of the sites that were available, so I kept moving north and went to a KOA up north of Crescent City. The Oregon coast is beautiful, especially the southwestern corner. It felt like I was pulling over every 20 feet just to have a look. I think you guys know what happens next. If I see a sign like this, I'm driving down that road. I didn't think that road was all that bad, but apparently that car did because he ended up parking and walking down the hill. I passed him on my way back up. I came across the sea lion caves and needed a break from the road, so stopped to have a look around. Unfortunately, the sea lions weren't actually in the cave. They were outside hanging out, sunning themselves on a rock, but it was still worth it. The cave was super interesting and there was some good history. And then we reached Astoria, Oregon, that town from the Goonies, if you remember. We crossed that bridge back in Washington State and officially completed our loop around the United States. I used my SpotX GPS device to track my route. I went online, pulled up this map, and you can see everywhere I went on the trip. We started in Washington, headed east towards Maine, and then back down and around again. Hey Ozzy, are we going to go see Uncle Dave? Are you excited to go see Uncle Dave? Where is he? Are you going to go see Uncle Dave? Where is he? Okay, we're almost there. A couple hours. Ozzy, where are we? Do you recognize this place? It's been a while. Oop, oop, careful.
Hi, Ozzy. How are you? Hello. Hi, buddy. What's going on? Hi, how are you? Oh, hi. Yeah.
This trip may be over, but our adventures definitely are not. Be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you'll be alerted when we upload new content. Thanks so much for following along, and safe travels.